In this lesson, we will learn how to solve linear system of equation when given two equation and two variable. We will identify a couple vocabulary and also the three types of outcome that could happen. The two methods we will be using will be elimination or substitution. All right, let's get started. So first, we have to identify a couple vocabulary. Linear means it's a line. The word system means multiple equations. Solve means solution, which is where the line intersects. Let's take a look at the three types of outcome that can happen. The first outcome is we have two parallel lines that does not touch. If it doesn't touch, there is no intersection, so we have no solution. The second outcome is when two lines actually intersect at a point, and the point is the solution, so we have one solution. And lastly, we have two lines stacked on top of each other, touching everywhere. This means that we have infinite solution. But how does this transition into solving equations? Let's take a look. There are two methods, generally speaking, to solve a system of equation, and they are elimination or substitution. Let's take a look at some example and look at how we can use elimination or substitution to solve a system of equation. So let's take a look at an example. Y equals x minus 1 and y equals negative 2x plus 5. We have two equations. How can we solve this system of linear equation? We will try substitution method first. Realize how one equation is y equals x minus 1 and the other equation is y equals negative 2x plus 5. And because they are both y equals, we can substitute one into the other and set the two equations equal to each other. So we will get x minus 1 is equal to negative 2x plus 5. Then all we have to do is solve this equation by grouping like term and simplifying. So we will plus 2x on both sides and obtain 3x minus 1 is equal to 5 plus 1 on both sides, and we will get 3x equals 6. So divided by 3, x is equal to 2. Remember, the solution is the intersection, which is a coordinate. So we should have both the x and the y value. So once we obtain x or y, we have to plug it back into the equation and solve for the other variable. In this case, we will need to plug in to solve for y. Now, it does not matter which equation you plug into because the outcome will be the same. So we will choose the first equation, y equals x minus 1. If we plug in 2 for x, we will have 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1. So our y value is equal to 1. Then our solution to the system of equation will be 2, 1. Now let's take a look at another example and try to solve using substitution. So we have 2x plus y is equal to 5, and x minus y is equal to 1. If we want to do substitution, realize how we need x equals or y equals for one of the equations so we can plug it into the other equation. Because our equation given does not have x equals or y equals, we will need to try and rearrange one of them. So let's try to rearrange the second equation to x equals. Then we will have, if we add y on both sides, we will be getting x is equal to 1 plus y. So now we are ready to substitute this into the other equation. Since x is equal to 1 plus y, if we substitute into the other equation, we will have 2 times 1 plus y is equal to 5. And we can distribute the number in. We will get 2 plus 2y plus y equals 5. Group like terms, 2 plus 3y equals 5. Subtract 2 on both sides, we get 3y equals 3, so my y must be equal to 1 by dividing 3 on both sides. Once we obtain one of the value, we have to plug it back in to solve for the other value. So in this case, we will plug it back in the equation, y minus x is equal to 1. So since y is equal to 1, we have x minus 1 is 1, so plus 1 on both sides, we get x equals to 2. Remember, If you want to do substitution, always get one of the equation to be x equals or y equals. Then we can substitute that into the other equation. And our final answer always has to be a coordinate, which in this case is 2, 1. So let's try to solve this equation using elimination. With the equation 2x plus y equals 5 and x minus y equals 1, you can decide which variable you want to eliminate. It does not actually matter which one we eliminate, but in this case, the easier one would be eliminating y, which in this case, we will eliminate y by adding two equations. We will get 2x plus x, we have 3x, positive y and a negative y, if we add it, we get 0, and 5 plus 1, we get 6. So in this case, divided by 3, our x is equal to 2. Now, remember, we always have to solve for the other value. So if we use the second equation, x minus y is equal to 1, 2 minus y equals 1, we will have plus y, and we will get 2 equals 1 plus y, subtract the 1, and we end up with y is equal to 1. So we get the coordinate 2, 1, which is the same answer as before. Now, what happened if we decided to eliminate x rather than y first? So if we take a look, to eliminate x, we would need the x to disappear. But how can we do that? Elimination, we can multiply the equation by any number to help us eliminate the variable. So why don't we multiply the second equation by -2? Then we will get -2x plus 2y equals to -2. And if we add the equation together again, we'll realize that 2x plus -2x, we get a 0 here. And y plus 2y, we have plus 3y. And 5 plus -2, we get 3. So 3y equals 3. My y must be equal to 1 by dividing 3 on both sides. And of course, if we plug the value back in to the second equation, we get x minus 1 is equal to 1. So plus 1 on both sides, we get x is equal to 2, which is the same answer as before. So regardless which variable we eliminate, it does not actually matter. But there's always one that's easier than the other. Remember, we are allowed to multiply the whole equation by any number we want to help us eliminate the variable. So usually we would target a variable and try to turn one into the opposite sign of the other. In this case, we have 2x and change the other equation to -2x. Then we eliminate the x that way. So let's take a look at the other two types of outcome that can happen, which is no solution and infinite solution. If we take a look at the example, 2x minus 3y is equal to 3, and -4x plus 6y is equal to 6. It seems like elimination would be easier because substitution would require us to get to x equals or y equals, which is a lot of rearrangement. By doing elimination, we have to pick which variable we want to get rid of. Why don't we get rid of x first? So we will times it by 2. 4x minus 6y equals to 6. If we add the equation together, -4x and 4x cancel each other out. 6x and -6x cancel each other out. So we actually get a 0 on the left side. The right side, 6 plus 6, we have a 12. Is 0 equals to 12? The answer is no. 0 is not equal to 12. So this means that we have no solution. Realize as long as when you solve the equation, you don't end up getting an answer, you end up getting two numbers not equal to each other, then you know you have a no solution. For example, you can get 1 is equal to 2. Is that true? No, so that's a no solution. If you get 10 is equal to 5, is that true? No, so that's also no solution. So as long as the number is not equal to each other, that means there is no solution. This would produce the same result regardless whether we solve for x or we solve for y first. So another example, we have 2x minus 3y equals 3, and -4x plus 6y equals -6. Now let's try to use elimination again. Why don't we multiply the first equation by 2 again? So we will get a new equation, 4x minus 6y equals 6. If we add the two equations up, negative 4x and the 4x ends up to be a 0, positive 6y and a negative 6y ends up to be a 0 also, and we have negative 6 and a positive 6. If we add them up, it's a 0 also. So 0 equals 0. Is 0 equals 0? The answer is yes. So that means we have infinite many solutions. We can also get 2 equals 2, 5 equals 5, 10 equals 10. As long as the number are equal, then that shows we have infinite many solutions. So realize there are three types of outcome. We can have one solution. We get one solution when we actually get a number for x or a number for y. We get no solution when two numbers are not equal to each other. And we get infinite solution when two numbers are equal to each other. In summary, linear system of equation for two equation and two variable. The word linear means a line. The word system means multiple equation. The word solving is asking for the solution, which is looking for where the line intersects. We can have three outcomes. One, no solution, meaning the lines are parallel and does not touch each other graphically. Two, one solution. The two lines actually intersect at a point, and the point is a coordinate, x comma y. And three, infinite many solution. So the two lines are actually stacked on top of each other and touching everywhere. The two methods we have for solving is elimination or substitution. For substitution, we have to rearrange one of the equation to y equals or x equals to substitute or plug into the other equation. Then we will eliminate and simplify and get an answer. Remember, if we end up getting an answer, we have to plug it back to the equation to solve for the other value because it's a coordinate. And to solve by elimination, we have to eliminate or cancel one of the variable. You can choose y or you can choose x. It does not matter. But remember, we are allowed to multiply the whole equation by a number, whether it's positive or negative, to help us eliminate the variable. When once we finish eliminating the variable and get a value, we have to also plug back to get the other value. But sometimes we might get a number is equal to a number. That means we will have infinite many solutions because it's true. 5 is equal to 5. Or we can get a number is not equal to another number. For example, 5 is not equal to 10. Then that way, we know we have no solution. So that's how you would solve a system of linear equation. If you like that content, feel free to smash that subscribe button to support the channel.